the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Na, 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 na.
Hello and welcome to our first cover of 2014. Touch the Sky from the movie Brave is a free-spirited song full of possibility and hope, sung by Princess Merida as she escapes from the controlling clutches of the palace into her beloved outdoors. Its masterful use of personification brings nature to life and sweeps listeners up and into Merida's excitement. Now, loyal viewers will be thoroughly acquainted with personification, but just for those who are new to what we do, you might be wondering, what is personification exactly?
What a great question! We're so glad you asked.
Well, just as the word suggests, personification is a figure of speech that involves describing an inanimate object as if it were a person. This often has the effect of making a description more vivid and alive. For example, instead of simply saying, "Oh, the trees made a soft sound when the wind blew through them," a speaker could use personification and say that the tree whispered and the wind caressed them. Whispering and caressing are evidently human actions, but when applied to inanimate objects such as trees and the wind, it enhances the description tremendously.
In the first stanza, the cold wind and misty mountains call, sing, and beckon to Merida. While it is highly impossible that the wind and mountains literally join forces to call out, "Merida, Merida!"
Now that would be terrifying!
The use of personification suggests that the outdoors is where she belongs and is welcome. Just as friends would call out your name and welcome you to join them, the winds and mountains are Merida's friends who delight in her company. This makes their relationship suddenly much more intimate. What a superb use of personification at work! After the chorus, we see personification being employed once again. First, the dark woods are said to hide secrets. The act of hiding a secret immediately brings to mind a suspicious, shady character and images of shadows and darkness. This parallels the dark woods that she describes, as the woods is a place that few venture into and where there is little light. Next, she describes the mountains as being fierce and bold, rather than telling listeners how intimidating the mountains are by saying that they are tall and big. Princess Merida personifies the mountains by giving them very human attributes, turning them from static landmasses into dynamic personalities.
Now we've described both the earth and wood now. What element is left? Oh, I know. That's right, it's water. The deep waters are said to hold reflections of times lost long ago, and we're instantly struck by the ancient mystery of the land. Now, why else is this a great line? Yes, the word reflections can be interpreted in two ways. First, as literal mirror reflection, and secondly, as personal contemplation of times in the past. Now, every person has a personal history that may encourage or deter him or her today. Also in the line, there is the idea of deep waters, which is not only used as a literal description, but also as a metaphor for danger and uncertainty. This then makes us respect Merida that much more when she does not follow up with timid tentativeness, but instead an assertion of strength to face challenges ahead. We see that she borrows from the fierce, unleashed intensity of an eagle's scream, which is a really powerful image. In fact, in the line, "I'm proud as an eagle scream," it uses a literary device called a simile, which is basically using another thing as a basis to explain your original thing. Over here, we use the eagle to describe her original sense of pride. We know that the eagle is a ferocious bird of prey, and so when we associate the eagle with Merida, we automatically get the idea that you don't want to mess with her. Now there's a simile in the previous line as well. As strong as the seas are stormy. By comparing her strength to the stormy sea, she not only displays her fantastic alliterative ability, but also gives us a way of quantifying and understanding her strength, which compares to the might and power of a raging sea.
And finally, we move on to the chorus, which appears deceptively simple but is actually very powerful. The use of the pronoun "I will" reflects Merida's personal commitment to embark on these bold actions, which reinforces a determination, while the verbs such as ride, fly, and chase create a continuous sense of forward movement, pursuit, and adventure. The act of touching the sky is one that inspires hope through its sheer impossibility. To emphasize the strength of her will, these few lines are repeated many times over throughout the song, convincing us that these are not empty promises, but living intentions. We hope you've enjoyed that. It's time now to move on to the cover. Watch out for the instances where personification is used, and try to think of some examples of your own. And as always, don't forget to sing it out loud.
When the cold wind is a-calling and the sky is clear and bright, misty mountains sing and beckon, lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. La, 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 la. And mountains are fierce and bold, deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear their story, take over my own dream, be as strong as the seas that stormy, and proud as an eagle scream. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind.